Yo Yankees universe. Hold on to your pinstripes, because what I'm about to drop on you is straight-up league-shaking, fan-raging front office warfare. Picture this. In the dead of winter while the rest of MLB is sipping hot cocoa and pretending they're not terrified of the Yankees empire, the Bronx Bombers just detonated a triple-threat bomb that could rewrite the AL East forever. A Rule 5 draft heist that screams hidden agenda, a contract standoff with a superstar that's got agents plotting in the shadows, and a holiday charity event that's suspiciously perfect for PR cover-ups. This isn't just news, this is a conspiracy unfolding right before our eyes, folks. If you're a true Yankees diehard, you know the Bombers don't make moves without a master plan. But is this the start of a dynasty? Or a powder keg that's about to blow up the entire league? Let's break this down step by step because the outrage is real, the stakes are sky high, and the Yankees are playing 4D chess while everyone else is still on checkers. Imagine the scene. Winter meetings in Orlando, GMs huddled like mob bosses, and suddenly the Yankees strike. Not with a splashy free agent signing, but with a sneaky Rule 5 pick that nobody saw coming. And Bellinger? The guy who single-handedly dragged the Yankees back to relevance last season, now caught in a tug-of-war that's got the whole league holding its breath. Rhetorical question. What if this isn't just business? What if it's a calculated power grab to cement the Yankees as the unbeatable force for the next decade? The shockwaves are hitting hard and we're diving deep into the chaos. Alright, let's set the scene, my friends, because you need the full context to feel the intensity of what's unfolding. We're fresh off the 2025 winter meetings, that annual circus where dreams are made, careers are shattered, and fortunes are flipped in smoke-filled rooms. The Yankees, the AL's undisputed heavyweight, have always been the team to watch, but this offseason? They've gone nuclear. First, they pull off a Rule 5 draft selection that's so out of character. It's got insiders scratching their heads and fans erupting in debates. Then, the Cody Bellinger contract saga turns into a full-blown standoff, with agent Scott Boras playing hardball and the Yankees digging in like it's the Battle of the Bulge. And don't get me started on the Winter Wonderland event. Yeah, it's heartwarming on the surface, but in the grand scheme of things, it's the perfect smokescreen for the real maneuvers. People are furious, folks. Yankees fans are flooding social media with rants. Why risk it on a Rule 5 guy when we've got aces? Others are screaming, give Bellinger the 7 years or lose him forever. The media? They're calling it Yankees arrogance and league imbalance. Executives from rival teams are seething, whispering about how the Bombers are stacking the deck. Rhetorical question. How does a franchise that's already spent hundreds of millions suddenly need to raid the minors like a desperate underdog? And why is Bellinger, the hero of 2025, stuck in limbo while the clock ticks down? The outrage is palpable. It's not just about baseball, it's about fairness, power, and the fear that the Yankees are untouchable. This is the kind of situation that sparks riots in the stands and boardroom coups. Let's keep building that tension, because if the Yankees win this standoff, the AL East is theirs for the taking. If they lose, chaos ensues and every rival smells blood. Let's zoom in on the players and teams at the heart of this storm, because context is king, and this backstory is dripping with intrigue that could fill a novel. First, the Yankees themselves, the pinstripe juggernaut that's won 27 World Series, crushed payroll records, and turned the AL into their personal playground. Founded in 1901, they've been the standard-bearer of excellence, with legends like Babe Ruth, Derek Jeter, and Aaron Judge defining eras. Under Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, who've navigated the team through highs like the 2009 championship and lows like the 2010s rebuild, they've been on a relentless hunt for pitching, outfield depth, and that edge that keeps them ahead of the pack. But here's the crazy part. They've been dormant on the Rule 5 front for 14 years. Their last pick was in 2011, snagging a guy who fizzled out, and the last one to stick long-term? All the way back in 1973 with a reliever who became a footnote. So why now in 2025 do they break this streak? It's not random, it's calculated. Enter Cade Windquest, the 25-year-old fireballer they yanked from the St. Louis Cardinals. This guy's a Texas A&M product, drafted in the 8th round back in 2022 out of the University of Texas at Arlington, and he's been grinding through the minors like a man possessed, posting solid numbers but never quite breaking through to the bigs. The Cards? They're in full rebuild mode after years of mediocrity. Think failed playoff pushes under managers like Oliver Marmol, a farm system that's more barren than the Sahara despite high draft picks, and a front office that's been criticized for poor development. They might live to regret letting this gem slip, but the Yankees? They're salivating over his potential. And then there's Cody Bellinger, the 29-year-old slugger who resurrected his career in pinstripes last season. A former MVP with the Dodgers in 2019, where he hit .305 with 47 HR and won a Gold Glove, he's got that rare combo of power, speed, and versatility, can play all three outfield spots and even first base, with 350 games of experience there. But his injury history? It's a red flag waving in the wind, shoulder surgeries, hamstring issues, and a dip in production post-2019 that had him bouncing between teams. The Yankees know it, and so does Boras, his agent, who's been known to squeeze every last dollar out of teams like a boa constrictor, famously negotiating monster deals for guys like Alex Rodriguez and Bryce Harper. This standoff isn't just about money, it's about legacy, health risks, and the Yankees' willingness to bet big. And the Winter Wonderland? That's the Yankees community halo, a tradition since 2010, turning Yankee Stadium into a holiday wonderland for kids. But is it a distraction from the real drama? These backgrounds aren't just facts. They're the fuel for the fire that's burning in the Bronx. Now here's where it gets conspiratorial, folks. Buckle up because I smell smoke and it's not just from the hot stove. The Yankees don't do anything by accident. They're the chess masters of MLB, always thinking 3 moves ahead. This Rule 5 pick? It's not random, it's a hidden agenda in plain sight. WinQuest is a hidden gem, the cards we're burying in AA Springfield, but the Yankee scouts must have been lurking like spies in the night, uncovering intel that screams strategic manipulation. Why risk $100,000 on a guy who might not stick, especially when the Yankees have a bullpen that's already one of the best in the league? Because they're plotting a bullpen revolution. With aging arms like Clay Holmes and Luke Weaver, they're building depth that's off the books. A sleeper agent to deploy when the playoffs heat up, avoiding the high cost of free agents. But what if it's deeper? What if the Yankees knew the Cards were tanking and scooped him up to weaken a potential rival? And Bellinger? Oh, this is classic Boras mind games, the kind that have toppled empires. Pushing for 7 years when the Yankees are firm at 5? It's a power play to force their hand, maybe even leak rumors to drive up the price and create leverage. But what if the Yankees are in on it? What if they're using this standoff to distract from bigger fish like Kyle Tucker, while secretly negotiating a Tucker megadeal behind closed doors? The league's whispering about competitive imbalance. The Yankees hoarding talent while teams like the Cards rebuild, potentially violating the spirit of the rules. And Winter Wonderland? Perfect cover. While the front office schemes in Orlando, they plaster on the charity face, buying goodwill and deflecting scrutiny from the media circus. People are furious because it feels rigged. Like the Yankees are pulling strings the rest of us can't see, with insiders hinting at backroom deals that favor the rich. Is this the start of a conspiracy to dominate the 2026 season, locking in a dynasty that rivals the 1990s Yankees? Or is Boras about to burn the Yankees by shopping Bellinger to the Mets, sparking a crosstown rivalry nightmare? The intrigue is killing me. Imagine the fallout if Bellinger signs with the Dodgers. Yankees fans would riot and the AL East would be a bloodbath. This conspiracy angle isn't just speculation. It's the undercurrent of outrage that's got the league on edge. Let's compare this madness to the past because history doesn't lie, and these moves echo some of the Yankees' most infamous power grabs that have shaped MLB. Remember the 2019 offseason? The Bombers signed Giancarlo Stanton to a monster $325 million deal, flipping the script on the AL East and sparking outrage from rivals who called it unfair and market manipulation. Sound familiar? This Rule 5 heist is like that, but sneakier, a low-cost raid instead of a blockbuster, reminiscent of how the Yankees used the Rule 5 in the 1970s to snag guys like Sparky Lyle, who became a World Series hero. And Bellinger? Compare him to past Yankees outfielders like Aaron Judge, who got his extension after a breakout 2017 MVP season, or Brett Gardner, the loyal warrior who aged out gracefully. Bellinger's resurgence mirrors Judge's power surge, but his contract tug-of-war is straight out of the Boras playbook. Think Alex Rodriguez's epic standoffs in 2000 that redefined free agency, forcing the Yankees to overpay and setting a precedent for mega deals. League patterns? Teams like the Dodgers and Mets have been aggressive in Rule 5 lately, snagging arms like Buster Gratterall or relievers to bolster their staffs without breaking the bank. The Yankees, dormant for decades, are jumping back in a sign they're not resting on their laurels, much like their 2005 resurgence under Joe Torre. And Winter Wonderland? It's their annual PR blitz, like the charity events that masked the turmoil during the 2000s rebuild under George Steinbrenner. But here's the crazy part. If Bellinger walks, it could mirror the Yankees losing Robinson Cano to the Mariners in 2014, a star slips away, and the dynasty stumbles, leading to years of mediocrity. Comparisons don't lie. This is the Yankees playing the long game, but one wrong move, and it's chaos. Think the 1980s when they traded away prospects for stars, only to regret it later. These parallels build the narrative. The Yankees are repeating history, but with higher stakes in a salary cap era. Alright, let's dissect the roster implications because this is where the rubber meets the road: positional issues, depth charts, salary dynamics, and development concerns that could make or break the Bombers. Starting with Windquest. The Yankees' bullpen is already a fortress with guys like Clay Holmes, elite closer, Luke Weaver, setup man, and Ian Hamilton providing depth. But adding a 25-year-old fireballer? It's high risk, high reward. He slots in as a potential setup man or closer in waiting, providing youth and upside for an aging core that's seen overuse injuries. Salary-wise, Rule 5 rules mean he's on the 26-man roster all year. No minor league stashing without waivers, which could block spots for prospects. If he bombs, it's $50,000 back to the Cards, but if he thrives? Instant value, potentially saving millions on free agents. Bellinger though? He's the outfield cornerstone, versatile, powerful, and a leader who anchors the lineup. The Yankees' offer of 5 years reflects salary cap concerns. They're already north of $200 million in payroll, with commitments to Judge, $360 million, and Cole, $324 million. 7 years? That could balloon it to $250 million plus, forcing cuts elsewhere, maybe trading away depth like Oswaldo Cabrera or sacrificing prospects. Development-wise, Bellinger's 30 soon. Can he stay healthy into his mid-30s, given his history? The alternative, Tucker, is younger but pricier with his own injury baggage, hairline fracture in 2025. Roster fit screams imbalance. The Yankees are stacking offense while raiding pitching, creating a monster that rivals fear. Positional depth. With Bellinger they cover CF, RF and 1B. Without him they scramble, potentially overpaying for Tucker or plugging in fringe guys like Estevan Florial. And Winter Wonderland? It's roster neutral, but it boosts morale. Think team building disguised as charity, keeping players engaged during the off-season. Bottom line, these moves address gaps, but the Bellinger standoff could leave a hole, forcing a scramble for Tucker or worse, and Windquest's addition might strain the bullpen if he doesn't pan out. The dynamics are complex: salary flexibility versus talent accumulation, and the Yankees are betting big. Time for the nitty-gritty scouting report, because stats don't lie, and projections are everything in this high-stakes game. Cade Windquest, 6 feet 2 inches, 205 pounds with a fastball that touches 100 miles per hour? Elite. His extension, long arm path, and spin rate, over 2,500 revolutions per minute, make it unhittable up in the zone, think Aroldis Chapman levels, but with better control potential. Arsenal. Mid-80s cutter for movement, low 80s slider for swing and miss, and a 90 miles per hour changeup for deception. 2025 stats: 3.19 ERA in AA, 42 Ks in 31 innings, 1.28 WHIP. Advanced metrics: 8.9 H/9, 2.6 BB/9, 89.9 K/9. That's elite strikeout stuff. Weaknesses? He's improving above AA, with a 4.19 minor league ERA overall and occasional command issues, high walk rates in lower levels. Projections? If he adapts to MLB, he's a top 10 reliever, potentially a closer by 2027. But bust risk is high. MLB hitters could feast on his secondary stuff if he doesn't refine it. Bellinger. 2025 was a revival: 29 HR, 98 RBI, .813 OPS, 5.1 WAR in 152 games. Strengths: power, 30+ HR potential, speed, 20 SB, elite defense, gold glove caliber in CF, versatile everywhere. Weaknesses: injury history, shoulder, hamstring, age regression, his OPS plus dipped in prior years. Projections: at 30 he could maintain 25 to 30 HR, but durability is the question. Scouts worry about his swing mechanics leading to more setbacks. Tucker comparison? Tucker's got more raw power, 40+ HR upside, and youth, but Bellinger's versatility wins out. He's a Swiss Army knife. Scouting whispers: Yankees love Windquest's upside for their analytics-driven approach. Bellinger's a known quantity with leadership. Winter Wonderland? No scouting here, just pure holiday vibes, but it scouts the next gen of fans. Deeper dive: Windquest's pitch mix could evolve with Yankees coaching. Bellinger's bat speed is still